Mhm.
Hi, Susan. Guess what? Thirsty Thursday coming to you live from my couch. Well,
Yep.
not really live, but and Susan, looks like you're on your couch there. How are you doing today?
Yep. Coffee, Will. This Thirsty Thursday thing has become more thirst for news and less thirst for booze.
Well, let me show you my most recent purchase from well.ca. It's called something like the big jug of water. Literally, it's a 2-liter jug of water. This is going to be my mission to drink at least one of these every day. So cheers, Susan. Happy Thirsty Thursday.
Cheers. Are you doing well on that? How's the goal of drinking all of that going?
Yeah, I've been trying to up my water intake. I feel like my skin is already looking like it's October. So I'm like trying to nourish myself from the inside out. We can always drink some more water, right?
Yep.
So let's get into, why don't you tell everyone about our 4 a.m. Report podcast that came out this morning at 4 a.m.
Yes, this was a good episode. We spoke to Hilda Gan, HR expert of People Bright Consulting, and we talked one of our favorite topics, which is teams. And I think, there were a lot of really great points. You should go listen to the episode, but what really stood out for me was a point that Hilda made about proactive versus reactive, meaning people take an approach to teams in which you're like, oh, call the lawyer if something goes wrong, or, get advice to fix a problem. But that level of focus, especially for small business teams that are like 5 to 10 people, you don't tend to proactively put in place like team culture. What is your, what holds you together, those mission, vision, values, which are things you think sit in a PowerPoint, but really that's what should be guiding a people sort of thing. So that's a really great episode, and we'll link it.
Put the link in the comments here below. So I want to dive into something that, well, first of all, I really do love when the internet globally decides to troll people. I mean, obviously there's the bad sides of all of it, but this was kind of a fun little troll. The Kardashians, who I love and who I also hate sometimes. I'm sure you saw in the news, Susan, they splashed it all over their social media, which was the problem, I think, showing their extreme wealth and privilege while there's suffering beyond just the COVID lockdown. There's a lot of bad stuff going on in the world, and especially with this tensions around the elections. Basically, Kim organized a surprise trip to a private island, took a ton of people. She talked about getting them tested every day and quarantining. She chartered a full 747 and decked it out Kardashian style. You can follow their journey
with 40th birthday. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Took everyone, the family. There's literally pictures of heels being kicked up in glee. And whoa, the internet came for them. Like, their job is to look great on social media, but there's a line, right? They could have just been at the island already celebrating. They'd still get some flack, but this whole elaborate, over the top, slice of wealth and privilege really, really ticked off a lot of people. And the memes were really funny that came from it. So I quite enjoyed it. And Kim, I feel for you. And you looked great, Kim, but definitely, definitely tone deaf. Yeah.
There's a tone to the whole thing. And, like you said, it's sort of the vulgar display of wealth is perhaps becoming more and more frowned upon, because a lot has changed for people in the last 8 months. And it does feel completely wrong to be like, oh, look at me. And so many people don't get testing for a week, and you're saying I'm having my friends tested every day. It's a bit but we love a good Kardashian story, and we haven't had a juicy one in a while, so there's that.
That's very true. And then you were obsessed with this Fyre Festival founder.
Oh my God, yeah.
Scandal. Tell us about that. For
a couple of reasons. Obviously, like everyone else at the time, I think his name is Billy McFarland. And at that time, I was like, this was mind blowing. Like, what happened with that whole Fyre Festival? But this guy eventually, I guess there were people who died. He went to prison. He's in prison right now. And what caught my attention recently was a podcast. Apparently, the guy has made a podcast from prison. So just goes to show this kind of thing was like the bastion of like hard news journalists being able to get stories from inside prison and stuff. And now it's like a podcaster. But here's the backstory. I don't think the podcast itself was created by this guy. It was an interview that he gave to this other podcaster called Jordan Harbinger, who called him, collect call, in prison. You can hear all of it. And the rest of it is a recording of their call. And somebody repurposed it, and we love a good repurposed story. Somebody repurposed it and has put it out from Billy McFarland's company, because apparently he knows how to make money even from prison.
Yes.
And it's now called Dumpster Fyre. And apparently this guy is in solitary confinement right now because people found out.
He got punished to put in solitary. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so sad. But, you know, okay, sure, this is a person who's in prison. We have to ask, what are your rights, etc. But I thought it was such a good story for the digital times. Like, if you want to create content, you can do it from anywhere.
Yeah. Sorry, I was looking the other way. In my condo, there's always weird noises. I thought there was a delivery at the door. Very, very interesting. I hadn't heard about the Fyre Festival in a while. That's that gift that keeps on giving. Like, there's one scandal after another with it still, even while in jail. What else were we going to be talking about? Oh, I know. It's the end of October. I've definitely gone into this general malaise type funk where I feel like I'm just kind of floating around. Not that I would consider myself depressed or anything. It's just, I don't know if burnout's the right word, but it's something. And there was an article in the New York Times about this one guy was talking about how, you know, if he tallied up all the hours he would have spent on his commute, it was 300 hours. And you'd think, oh, I got 300 hours back during this pandemic. But the article was diving into people missing out on those rituals that surrounded work.
Yeah.
So spent an hour in the morning on a crowded, awful subway going somewhere. They described it as I got to kind of sink into myself, blend in, and just like go into my head and focus. And it was a way to almost meditate before I started my day. I mean, never would I have thought so many people would start talking about missing their awful, awful transit commute. But it's funny how this many months in, like things like that are triggering us in a way. So is there anything that you're doing, any rituals or something you're doing to try to, I guess, get into a better headspace?
I keep trying some different things. In general, I do meditate, not as often as I would like to, but I do that. But here's my new meditative practice. I'm pretty sure it's rubbish. You shouldn't do it. Okay. But here's what I do. In the quest for being a better human, I like to go to YouTube and watch a bunch of videos. So obviously, I found some of these people who are inspirational in this area. So a bunch of bloggers who are like, here's my nighttime ritual, and here's how I clean my house and put my dog out and all of that kind of stuff. And I've started watching those because I'm not yet there, but I'm like, hopefully if I watch enough of these videos in which these women in their wonderfully, soothing voices tell me about the perfect life, I feel like that's my meditative practice.
I love
not to make light of it. Yeah, but it's just that I'm getting ideas. My way of learning is I look at a bunch of things and I get ideas, and I'm like, I really feel better, for example, if I clean out my kitchen at night. So now I try to do that. But I clean it out so when I come in the morning, I can see clean spaces.
It's like that. It's like that. Try to make each day 1% better, right? Try to add one good positive thing into your daily routine. That's a great way to look at it too. Let's not get overwhelmed. And then I know you wanted to talk about Lewis Hamilton, didn't you?
Yes. So this past Sunday, Lewis Hamilton became the highest, like a record holding, he's the highest, he's won 92 races, which broke the record basically. And Mithran is obsessed with F1, and he's actually writing a piece about it, which will be in our next digest next week. So if anyone's interested in a newsletter for the Times, which is full of random pop culture references, you should subscribe. But it is really cool that the F1 organization as a whole is an agile organization, and he's sort of focusing on that. So shout out to Lewis Hamilton. It's the widest of all sports, and he's the champion of it, which is awesome.
I'll look forward to that article. One last thing though, too, I know you wanted to talk quickly about upping the experience of these online events we're all going to now.
Yes. So a little sneak peek and shout out to our client, Colleen O'Connell-Campbell. She's running this event called Double to Sell, and I'm attending it, and I got a box. And I know this, obviously, but I thought it was really cool that the box came in saying, do not open till November 4th. And now I'm like a kid on Christmas, so, I'm like, this is hard. So yeah, shout out to her, and really upping experiences and making sure that people come with you for this virtual lifestyle.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you, Susan. I'll hopefully see you in person soon. Bye.